to another CSEC CXC biology class. Today we'll be covering cells. We're coming from the section B, life processes and disease of the syllabus. We do hope that you're doing fine and you are ready for class despite it's virtual. We have an interesting lineup just for you. Let's go. Now the objectives of today's lesson will be: 1, we'd love to define what a cell is. We'd love to name the organelles of a cell as is outlined by the syllabus. Relate the structure of an organelle to its function. Draw and label the generalized plant and animal cell. Distinguish between plant and animal cell. Those are the objectives for the day. We now want to know, what is a cell? What's really a cell? We've been hearing about cells. The truth is, there are many definitions for cells, but we want to confine our definition today to that which relates to biology. This is the basic unit on which all organisms are built. Hence, once it is an organism, its life started from a cell. It is also true that all living things are made of cells. So organism starts out as a single cell, and some gradually becomes multicellular. This will be explained further in lessons to come. Organisms can exist as single cell, meaning they are unicellular, or they may exist as multicellular. A single cell organism has one cell. A multicellular organism has many cells. This is not so much a part of this section of the syllabus. You'll be covering prokaryotes and eukaryotes in classification, but we thought that it would have been wise to have it in this lesson based on the fact that we have not covered that bit as yet. We wanted you to make a link with these two classifications. Here we go. So eukaryotic cells have the nucleus bounded by a membrane, while prokaryotic cells have nucleus that are not bounded by a membrane. Now, what are some examples of eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells? Eukaryotic organism and prokaryotic organisms. Let's look a little closer at that. Now, eukaryotic cells refer to organisms like animals, fungi, plants, protozoa. Now, we all would be familiar with these kingdoms, and if not, just look out for the video that we'll be posting shortly on classification of living things. So prokaryotic cells are usually from the Monaria group. They are unicellular, of which bacteria would have been a part of this group. So let's recap. Eukaryotic cells, they have their nucleus bounded by a membrane, while prokaryotic cells have nucleus that are not bounded by membrane. Now, eukaryotic organisms would have been the animal, the plant, the fungi, protozoa, things of this kingdom, and prokaryotic are usually unicellular, and of course the bacteria would be a part of this group. Now, please read on this topic. I will have a link in the description below the video on YouTube. Now, most cells are said to be microscopic. What it means is that they are not able to be seen with the naked eyes. Now, what we have here are two microscopes. One that is monocular and the other is binocular. Monocular has one eyepiece, binocular has two eyepiece. Let's play the video. Now, please forgive me for the poor background of these videos, but I went to do the videos at work and some maintenance work was being done, so I really couldn't have changed the setting. I just wanted to get the shot of the binoculars, and we have done that. And I'm sure that if you have never seen a binocular, if you have never seen a microscope before, I'm sure that now you will be able to say, I have seen a monocular microscope and a binocular microscope. So the first was the monocular, and this is the binocular, and we are going to be leaving a video link in the description below this video. Now, most cells are small. They can only be seen with the aid of a microscope. There are cells that can be seen with the naked eyes. Of course, yes, there are cells that can be seen with the naked eyes. The unfertilized egg you had for breakfast is an example of a cell that can be seen with the naked eyes. Now, let's get a little deeper into cells. Now, cells are made up of organelles. So these are components of a cell. Now, the organelles, these are organized, specialized structures that make up the cell. Some are listed on the next slide. Let's look at these organelles. Now, the CSEC syllabus wants us to know the following organelles, for biology that is: cell wall, cell membrane, nucleus, cytoplasm, vacuole, mitochondria, and chloroplast. Let's have a deeper look at each of these organelles. Cell wall. Cell walls are found in plant cells, but they are never found in animal cells. Cell walls are freely permeable, allow substances to move through, in and out freely, as it would have been a walking across an intersection. You can pretty much move freely if there is no traffic. So the cell wall allows substances to move freely across it. Now, cell wall gives the cell shape and protect the cell. Cell walls form the outer membrane of a plant cell. Cell walls are able to give the cell shape because they are made of cellulose. A diagram will be provided later in this lesson of a plant cell. Cell membrane. Cell membranes are found in both plant and animal cells. Cell membranes in all cells forms the cell membranes in animal cells form the outer membrane and regulates the flow of substances in and out of a cell. The cell membrane performs the same functions in both plant and animal cells. Cell membranes are selectively permeable. They regulate the flow of substances in and out of a cell based on the needs of a cell. So they are not freely permeable as would have been the cell wall. They are selectively permeable. They will take in what they need and let out as they so desire to meet the needs of a cell. It is important to note that the cell membrane is made of protein and lipid. Cell membrane is not as rigid as the cell wall. Hence, animal cells really don't have a fixed shape. The nucleus. The nucleus regulates activities in the cell. The nucleus contains genetic information for the cell and organism. The nucleus has a double membrane. The nucleus is also very important for cell division. Hence, the red blood cell does not go through cell division. The nucleus can be found closer to the side of a plant cell. You will have an opportunity to see this in the diagram later. The nucleus can be found to the center of the animal cell. That too you will see later in this lesson. The cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance found in the cell. The organelles of a cell are suspended in the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm protects the organelles from damage that could have been caused by collision. The cytoplasm is the site for several reactions. Respiration begins in the cytoplasm. Depending on the water content in the body, the cell may have approximately 80% water and 20% dissolved substances. This percentage can change depending on how hydrated you are. However, it must be maintained to prevent plasmolysis or cytosis. Now, I want you to read more on these. I really want you to read more on these. I want you to visit your topic osmosis in your textbook. We'll talk more about these when we get there. Vacuoles. Vacuoles are small space in the cytoplasm that stores water, food, and waste. The vacuole is larger in the plant cell than in the animal cells. There is usually one vacuole in a plant cell, however, many are found in the animal cell. Mitochondria. Mitochondria is the site of aerobic respiration, and it supplies the cell with energy. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to distinguish between mitochondrion and mitochondria. I want you to leave it in the comment section below. It contains folded inner membrane. When you view the diagram of a plant cell, ensure you distinguish the mitochondria from the chloroplast. Chloroplast forms the site for photosynthesis. It contains chlorophyll, has double membrane. It is a disc-shaped organelle with some stalks of cristae. Now let's move on to the plant cell. Now this is a drawing and I want us to just look at it carefully. We are going to try to identify these organelles. So remember we said that the cell is made up of organelles, or we could say components of the cell. So let's look at the first organelle, the cell wall. Once we would have seen the cell wall is associated with the plant cell. And then up and down, that is the nucleus. We did not pay much attention to the nuclear membrane and the other parts of the nucleus. We consider that entire envelope to be the nucleus. The inner portion, or just inside of the cell wall, we would find the cell membrane. Then we have the starch granules. Starch granules are only found in plant cells. They are not in animal cells. They are called something else in the animal cell. Chloroplast, found again in the plant cell and pretty much the site for photosynthesis. Vacuole. The vacuole tend to be larger in plant cell than it would have been in the animal cell. Mitochondria, they have folded inner side, and we are going to be looking at a micrograph later in this presentation. It might very well find itself in the link below this video. Cytoplasm. We spoke about the cytoplasm, and it is pretty much this jelly-like viscous substance that cushions all the organelles of the cell. The animal cell. The outer portion of the animal cell is called the cell membrane. Had it been a plant cell, it would have been the cell wall. But for the animal cell, the outer portion there is called the cell membrane. Then we have glycogen granules. In plants, it would have been starch granules. But however, for animals, it is glycogen granule. Then we have the nucleus. Nucleus controls all the activities of the cell. Cytoplasm, mitochondria, vacuole. Let's move on. Differences between plants and animal cells. Plant cells. Plant cells, they have a regular shape. Animal cells do not have a regular shape. Plant cells have chloroplast. Animal cells do not have chloroplast. Plant cell contain starch granules. Animal cell contain glycogen granules. Plant cell has large vacuole. Animal cell, small vacuole. Plant cell contains cell wall and cell membrane. Animal cell contains only cell membrane, no cell wall. You must be able to use a microscope. Now, in distant land with school being out, not everyone could afford the luxury of a microscope. So you will find a microscope in the description below. I want you to draw and label cells and cell structure from an electron micrograph, magnification x2000. Now this activity was taken directly from the CSEC syllabus, and it forms a wonderful activity. I do hope that we all have a copy of the syllabus so we can follow in the lesson to make sure that we're heading in the right direction. For this question, I want you to find an example of this online and see how best you could do the drawing. Of course, we are going to leave as many links in the description that we think you might find useful. All right, textbook that I find really good would have been the Collins revision course, CSEC Biology by Anna Tyndale. I have used this book with my students, and I think it is something wonderful, a wonderful book for you to have in your COVID package, education package. So if you don't have this book, probably you could go out and get a copy, go out and look at it, and see if you could get one for yourself. I think it is a wonderful biology tool for your exam. I've also used Biology for CSEC Examination by Linda Ali. It too is a good book. Now, your activities for the class as we wrap up. I want you to distinguish between cell wall and cell membrane, mitochondrion and chloroplast. Where possible, please draw the mitochondrion and chloroplast. Using the internet or text, please find a micrograph of the mitochondrion and chloroplast. I also want you to start a biology community. I want you to carry out this power play activity and tell me in the comment section how it went. Answer? This is an answer I got from a student some time ago. It could have been a little shorter, but it serves pretty much a purpose, being that we're supposed to look at the structure versus its function. So the cell wall is the outer portion of a plant cell. It is made of cellulose and helps to give the cell shape. It is found in plant cells but not animal cells. While cell membrane forms the outer portion of the animal cell, it is made of protein and lipid and contains the organelles in the cell. What it means contains, it pretty much forms an envelope. It is found in both plant and animal cell. Now, there we put together a little drawing of the chloroplast and mitochondria, but please feel free to Google these to see what they look like, to do some more practice on them, so that in an exam you will be able to identify them should you see them on a multiple choice paper. Your homework. With the help of a link provided and other resources to your disposal, please complete the following and present to your teacher. This activity came directly from the CSEC syllabus for biology. Please ensure you have a copy of the syllabus. It is free online. Now, I want you to examine a variety of cells. And of course, I think YouTube would provide a whole lot of help with this. I want you to examine these cells: onion, allium cepa, the purple onion, Eloda from a prepared slide. See if you could find that at YouTube. We'll also try to find a link that we can leave in the description below. And red blood cell, or the blood cells, nerve cell, and skin. It's very important that we look at these cells so that when we get to specialized cells, we will have a good knowledge as to what these are. I want you to construct a model using plasticine or other material found around your home. We can't say laboratory now. Alright, so we want you to do this model of the cell. Ensure that you are getting in all the organelles. It would be nice if you use Google to assist you with how they are supposed to be positioned, so that you'll have a good idea. Should you be asked to draw it or to label it, you'll have an appreciation of what it looks like and what should be where and that type of thing. We are at the end of this lesson. In our next lesson, we will be looking at microbes. Till then, I want you to go over this lesson. If you need to make notes, you can easily pause the screen. Use Control Print Screen to get your print screen. Open Microsoft Word, and you are going to Control V to paste each slide. Please be reminded, we're asking you to subscribe to the channel. We're asking you to like the channel. We're asking you to share the channel. And we want you to send us your comments, your concern as to how we could improve our delivery. Until next time, walk good and stay safe.